Hey y'all, it's Alex from You Should Craft, and today I'll show you how to crochet the loop stitch. This is an easy way to add some texture to your projects, and it's a really quick, easy stitch. It's very similar to just normal single crochets. So in order to crochet this, you'll need some yarn, and then whatever hook size matches. So I'm using a worsted weight yarn and my H crochet hook from Furls Crochet. And I've already done the first couple rows just so you can start to see how it works up. So to do the loop stitch, your first row will always just be single crochet. And that kind of helps, especially if you're making long loops. This first row of single crochet gives it kind of a buffer row so that your loops aren't hanging down super low. And it'll also make it easier if you're crocheting any kind of border because you don't want to be getting hooked on your loops when you're crocheting around your project. So you'll start with a row of single crochet and then you'll do a row of loop stitch and you'll just rotate that for the whole project. So here I have 7 rows so far: single crochet, loop stitch, single crochet, loop stitch, single crochet, loop stitch, and then another row of single crochet. So now I'm ready for my next row of the loop stitch. And I will show you how to crochet this 2 different ways. I know that most of you don't crochet the same way that I do, so I just want to make sure that this includes everyone. So first I'll show you kind of the traditional way where you hold your yarn in your left hand and then the hook in the right hand. And obviously it would be the opposite if you were left-handed. And then I'll also show you the way that I do it where I hold both my yarn and my hook in my right hand, which I know is not not how a lot of you crochet, but I have gotten some messages from people saying that that is the same way that they crochet, so I don't want to exclude those people. So first, this is way number 1. And this is the traditional way where you hold your yarn in the left hand and the hook in the right. All right, so you'll begin by chaining 1, and then you're going to turn your work. So I have my yarn wound around my non-dominant finger, or like my yarn holding finger. I have it wound twice, and you'll see why in a second. But so to start off with your loop stitch, you're going to put your hook into the first stitch of the previous row. And again, this is just like you're crocheting a single crochet. So now you will pull up your first loop, but you're going to leave your finger in there. And this will help get that loop down. So now you have 2 loops on your hook, again, just like you're doing a single crochet. And so you'll pull up another loop, but it's not this one. It's this other loop. And you'll pull it through. And so on the back, oops, my yarn split. Okay, so on the back, I pulled that too much. So on the back, it's going to look exactly the same as a single crochet, but on the front, you have your loop. So let's try again. So again, I've wound my yarn twice on this finger. I put my hook into the next stitch just like I'm crocheting a single crochet, and I start to pull up a loop, but I'm leaving my finger in there. So pull it through. Now I have 2 loops on my hook like I'm crocheting a single crochet. Pull up the next loop through both. And then we have that back that looks like a single crochet. And that front, now we have our 2 loop stitches. So I'll show you one more time this way before I show you my way. So we've got our 2 loops on our finger. Put your hook into the stitch. Start to pull up your first loop. Now there's those 2 on your hook. And then pull those loops through. And you've got your 3 loop stitches. All right, so now I'll show you the way that I usually crochet. I don't really know why I crochet like this. It's just that's how I've always done it. So I hold my hook and my yarn in my right hand, which is my dominant crocheting hand. So I will put my hook into the next loop. I'll yarn over, but I'm keeping my finger there. And then you'll pull it through. And then you'll just yarn over and pull through again. So I'll show you that some more. We'll put our hook in like we're going to do a single crochet. You'll yarn over but kind of around your finger and keep it in there to hold your loop. Pull it up, yarn over, and pull the last 2 loops through. So if you look, our back is still looking just like single crochets, and it'll look like that for the whole project. It's only the front that has these loops. So that's also something to keep in mind if you're adding just like 1 or 2 rows of loop stitch accent to a project. You want to make sure that you have your project aligned so that your loop stitches are ending up on the front. All right, so I'll show you one more time. I'm putting my hook into the top stitch, yarning over around my finger, pulling it through, but keeping my finger in place, yarning over and pulling those last 2 loops through. So you can see that I've got the first half of a row of loop stitches. So you'll just continue this for your whole project where you're rotating between a row of single crochets and a row of loop stitches until you're done with your project or you're done with your loop stitch accent. But thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to the You Should Craft channel and check out the You Should Craft blog for tutorials and free crochet patterns. But thanks. Have a good day.